In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know and what you need to do to grow your personal brand on Instagram as a real estate agent in 2022. So the things that we're going to be going over is what types of content you can post on Instagram. As you can see, it's quite a couple of different types of content that you can post on Instagram. Then also we're going to cover some exact examples of what to post, where and when, and then we'll take a look at your Instagram bio, what should be in there and what definitely shouldn't be in there. And at the end, we're going to take a look at how you can systematize your content creation so that all of this can feel a little less overwhelming. By the end of this video, I really want you to be able to understand how you can leverage Instagram to attract more buyers and attract more seller leads so that you can grow your business. So you might want to grab a pen and a paper or click the save button so that you can come back to this video whenever you need to. All right, so first up, we're going to dive into the different types of content that you can post on Instagram. So that is over here. I'm going to position myself over here. So these are the different types of content that you can create on Instagram. So the first up is the feed, and we will also put a screen share of what that actually looks like on Instagram somewhere over this video or on top of this. So this is the feed. This allows you to post images and videos under 1 minute, and you have to sort of look at it as your business card. When people come to your Instagram profile, it is what they will see at first glance. So this is something that you want to think about a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more curated than, for example, stories, which we will dive into later on. But your feed is really what do you want people to understand about you and your business within the first 3-4 seconds of coming to your profile. The second type of content is stories. So stories are 15 seconds video or images. You can also upload images on stories and then write text over it. And the fun part about this is that they only last for 24 hours. And these are, again, we'll show this on the screen. When you go to Instagram, at the top of the page, you'll see all the pictures of the people that you follow with a colored circle around it. That means that that person has posted a story in the past 24 hours that you can then go and watch. Then the third one is Reels. So Reels, at the beginning when they came out, sort of reminded us of TikTok. Everyone was like, Instagram is trying to do what TikTok is doing, and most people didn't pay too much attention to Reels. Now, Reels are videos up to 60 seconds, so it's short form video content. It's the same as YouTube Shorts, for example. And these have become increasingly popular, also a really, really great way to grow your following, because Reels is something that is much more discoverable than feed posts, for example, because we all have been like down the rabbit hole, either on Instagram or TikTok, where you watch one reel and then you swipe down and just keep on swiping, and before you know it, 40 minutes have passed and you've watched nothing but Reels and you've discovered all these new creators. So Reels are definitely a type of content that you do not want to neglect. You really want to heavily invest on that. Then we have IGTV. So IGTV are videos that are longer than 60 seconds but less than 10 minutes in length. Now, if you do have a verified IG profile, you can go up to, I believe, 60 minutes on this, but most people will be able to do 10 minutes. Next up are highlights. Now, highlights to me are not necessarily a separate type of content, but it is a really cool way to create story archives. So as I mentioned, stories only last on your profile for 24 hours, and after that they disappear. If you have certain stories that you do want to display on your profile, you can archive them under highlights. It's a great way to sort of show behind the scene footage and have a really clear outline on your profile, because when someone goes to your profile, on top, so above your feed even, they will be shown these highlight covers that you can also title, which already gives somewhat of a basic look and feel of you and your business. Then the last one is Instagram Lives. This sort of speaks for itself. This is where you go live on Instagram. It is live video. People can ask questions, leave comments, come in and out of that video while you're going live. It has to be under 4 hours in length, and I do believe that there is an option afterwards to post your live to your profile. I'm not heavily invested on these lives myself. The reason that I would use them is because when you go live, all your followers will receive a notification. I'm sure you yourself have received those from people that you follow. When they go live, you will actually receive an active notification on your phone saying, hey, this person on Instagram is going live. So that is why I would use live. Otherwise, not heavily invested on those. All right, now that you know the different types of content that you can post on Instagram, let's take a closer look at the exact examples of what you should be posting on your Instagram to grow your personal brand as a real estate agent in 2022. And of course, not just grow your brand, but actually create value and in that way attract more leads into your business. All right, so what to post, where, and when. So we'll first cover the where to post what, and then we'll sort of dive into when and how often you should be posting. First up is your feed content. So as we saw, these can be images and videos under 1 minute. You can also create carousels, which is 10 slides of either graphics or images next to one another. And this is where people will get their first impression of you, where they can actually like scroll and deep dive into your content. And you really want this to be the perfect mix. Now, why is that perfect mix so important, right? A lot of realtors go wrong by posting nothing but just listed and recently sold images. Now, for me as a potential client, that is not interesting information. Okay, fine. I know that you are a realtor, but you have in no way shown me how you can be of value to me, right? How I can connect with you, how are you relatable to me? And so this is why I said the perfect mix. You can still post real estate content, but a minimum of that should be the just listed or the recently sold images, and it should really be pros and cons, frequently asked questions, behind the scenes, reviews, and especially, and I sort of wrote it in a different color, user-generated content. Now, user-generated content is super powerful because it shows that you are actually working with people already. So user-generated content could be that, for example, every time that you sell a house, you ask your buyer to stand in front of the property together with you, holding up a sign that said, I just bought a house from. And if you do that consistently, you can create the trust factor on your profile because people see, oh, this person is actually actively selling houses to all these other people. You can also then send that picture to your client, ask them to share it on their social media profiles and tag you in it, and that way you get more traffic and more eyeballs on your content, because if your client posts it on their profile and they tag you in it, people can click on that, come to your profile, see your content, etc. And that's sort of how you grow your network, right? Aside from the real estate content, also put the personal back in personal brand. Show who you are. What are you passionate about? What's your lifestyle like? I put family on there, although if you don't want to share your family, you do not have to. If we look at an example, it's not real estate, but if you look at Gary Vee, he never posts images of his family, of his kids, and yet we all love him. But that's because he integrates other parts of his personality into his personal brand. So yes, you are a realtor on Instagram, but you're also a person, and people connect with people. They do not connect with images of houses. So make sure, again, that you have that perfect mix of real estate content, pros and cons, just listed facts, behind the scenes, reviews, user-generated content as often as possible, and then passion, lifestyle, family, that you put the personal in personal brand. It is really, really important for your personal brand to grow that you are in the pictures, you are in the videos, so people actually get to see your beautiful face and get to connect with you as a person. So that doesn't mean, for example, with the real estate content, that you cannot post about an open house, but then make sure that you are in that post, that it isn't just a picture of a house. Make it relatable, make it personal. Now, the second format is stories. So as we saw, stories are 15-second videos or images. You can add text and all that last for 24 hours. This is a great way to become creative. It's a great way to not take yourself too serious and really just show people what your life is like, what your life on the job is like, right? So anything that is behind the scenes or on the job content is great for in your stories. So if, for example, you just closed a deal, you can film that. If you have an open house, you can film that. If you're going to an event, film it and share it. Whenever also you have, for example, events that you go to with other industry people or other businesses in your area, tag them. Again, the tagging and the collaborating on content will heavily increase your reach and the amount of eyeballs on your content. The more eyeballs on your content, the more likely you will actually get leads from the content that you're creating. Then we're moving on to Reels. So Reels is where I said this is really where you want to be heavily invested right now. Short form video content, not just on Instagram, but also TikTok and YouTube is booming, and it is still a great way to increase your reach. Like I said, with the short form videos, people often spend 20 to 40 minutes just scrolling. And so it's a lot easier to be discovered by people who do not know you yet that way than it is with feed content or stories. So Reels are videos that are up to 60 seconds, and what I would advise you to use them for are quick tips, property teasers, favorite moments, behind the scene, YouTube teasers. So quick tips can be, for example, the number one thing you need to know about buying a house in this area. The number one mistake I see sellers make. And just do a quick shareable video on that. Property teasers are great to replace the single images that you would normally post when you have a new property listed. So this is where simply, even with your phone, you walk through a property, shoot some footage, edit it together in 30 to 60 second clips, and then post that as a reel instead of a single image. Favorite moments. For example, if you go to an event or a conference, shoot footage and then afterwards put together a fun clip of the favorite moments at that event. Or if you worked with a buyer, you can even create a favorite moments clip off of that. Guaranteed they will share it if you put some effort into that, and that again will bring more traffic to your profile. Behind the scenes sort of speaks for itself. This can be you in meetings, a day in the life of a realtor, anything again to build that connection with people, to show them what you actually do and who you actually are. And then YouTube teasers. Everyone that we work with at the agency, we recommend they start on YouTube and then branch out for completely different reasons. It's just that YouTube has a search algorithm that Instagram has not. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So all of our clients start off on YouTube and then move into social media. And what we would always advise them to do is to cut or have us cut a YouTube teaser for them in Reels format. So that would be a 30-second clip that shows the highlights of their YouTube video, and then at the end it would say watch the full video on YouTube. So that is also a great way to leverage Reels. Number 4 was IGTV. So these were videos anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes. If you are verified, that goes up to an hour. Now, this is really where you share in-depth information, high-value information, 10 most frequently asked questions, like in-depth things. Now, I'm gonna sort of move quickly here, quicker than with the other formats, because I want you to consider doing that on YouTube. And here is why. Instagram doesn't have a search algorithm the way that YouTube does. So if you put, let's say, a day into really crafting a high value IGTV video and you only post it on IGTV, after a while, that video will just go down and down and down your feed or down your IGTV feed, and there is no way for people on Instagram to actively search for that video. They can find your profile, but they can't actively type in the search bar and find your video. The search algorithm on Instagram doesn't work that way. On YouTube it does. So if you create long form content and you optimize it for the search algorithm on YouTube, you can make sure that whenever someone is searching for the topic that you just created the video on, you will show up in the search results, and that means that people, even 5 years from now, will still be able to find your video, whereas on Instagram, they will not. They will not find that video if their life depended on it, unless they are willing to scroll for hours on your feed. IGTV, I've seen people build businesses solely on Instagram. Because it doesn't have the search algorithm, I'm not a big fan of it. What you can do is create a YouTube channel and then also post it on Instagram if you really want to do that, but I would stick to really heavily invest in these 3 types of content and then pushing people to YouTube or pushing people to an email opt-in to capture their lead info that way. Then number 5 is highlights. So as I said, this isn't actually a separate form of content, but it is a way to archive or to sort of store your stories on your profile, because stories disappear after 24 hours. So you can create highlight covers, and a couple of ideas for your profile are: you can create a highlight that has all your testimonials in one place, behind the scenes footage, frequently asked questions. You can create a highlight, for example, that's like, here's a checklist of everything that you need to know about buying or selling your home. And then ideally, as a marketer, I would advise you to also redirect those people to an opt-in page so that you can actually capture their lead information, because again, on Instagram, you cannot. And then you can have motivation, listed, sold, events, community. This list can go on. What I would advise you to do is don't overdo it. Don't go for like 25 highlights. That's just confusing people. No one will watch it. But sort of think about, again, this shows up on your profile and people come to it. So make sure that the highlights make sense and that it gives a clear idea of who you are, what you've done, what working with you will be like. And then the final one, I also already touched on that, is lives. And I already said that the reason that I would use it is because it notifies your followers about the fact that you just went live. So let's say that you're hosting an open house a full day and people are free to just drop by. That day you could go live and say like, hey, we're hosting an open house here and there. Of course, now with COVID, depending on what area you're in, that might not be possible, but you get the idea. If you want to really announce something where you want to grab your followers' attention right here and right now, doing a quick live is interesting because they will get a notification from that. Other than that, again, this is used for in-depth content, often where you want your followers' participation, where you want people to ask questions, where you want to actively coach someone on Instagram while other people can join in and ask questions, for example. But again, I would say consider YouTube because, again, search algorithm-wise, YouTube is a little bit stronger for this, because afterwards you can, once the live is over, you can optimize that entire video for the search algorithm and you will still be able to get leads off of that for years to come, because they can actually find your video, which on Instagram they cannot. All right, so now that we've covered what to post and where, we're gonna take a look at when you should be posting. So let's first cover the feed. So the feed is where you wanna, in general, with all of your content, you want to be as consistent as possible. And to be consistent, you have to figure out what works for you. If you can only create one high quality post a week, then just post on your feed once a week, but do it consistently once a week. There are also people that post 6 times a day, but they are consistent at it and that works for them. I would say realistically, between 1 and 3 times a week is doable for most of us. Then with stories, as they only last for 24 hours, you want to post multiple stories per day so that you're always top of mind and at the top of the Instagram application for your followers. So that's multiple times per day. Then Reels. Now I literally just wrote plus because I want you to heavily invest in creating Reels. Now I do want to nuance this and say that yes, Reels are great and the more that you can create, the better, but they still have to be high quality. With anything, with any type of content that you're creating, ask yourself the question, what value am I offering? And you have to ask yourself that question because all of us fall into that trap of like, oh, I have to post, so let's just post a random picture and then no one likes it and then we get discouraged. Instead, ask yourself, How can I be of service? How can I create more value for the people that are following me? What are their questions? What do they need help with? Not what do I want to post or what do you want to post, but like what do my followers or what does my ideal client need help with? What would be good for them to see today? And then create content that way. So when I say plus on the reels, yes, try for as many as you can while still creating high quality content. All right, so we've covered what types of content there are, what you should be posting where and when. Now, we've sort of briefly touched upon the fact that the search algorithm in Instagram isn't as powerful as the one that YouTube actually has. Of course, YouTube is a search engine, but that doesn't mean that you can't sort of tweak and play on the Instagram search algorithm a little bit. And where you do that is actually in your Instagram bio. So you really want to make sure, the same as with your feed content, that your Instagram bio immediately shows people what you do, how you can be of value to them, but also you want to sort of use keywords in your name. Now this is in your Instagram handle. Your Instagram handle, for example, mine is I am Yoke de Swift, which is just I am plus my name. But then in my actual name, so not the Instagram handle, but the name, I can start using keywords that I know my ideal client would be searching for in the search bar on Instagram. So for you, please make sure that your name has real estate agent or realtor plus your area. We'll pull some examples of that up on the screen. For example, for a realtor in Denver, when I'm looking specifically for a realtor in Denver, I will go to the search bar and type realtor Denver, and unless that actually is in your name, in your Instagram name, again, not the handle, in the name, you will not show up and you're sort of missing out on potential business opportunities that way. So use keywords to leverage the minimal sort of search engine that Instagram does have in your favor. All right, so aside from the fact that you should have a realtor or real estate agent plus your area in your Instagram name, you also want to make sure that your Instagram bio clearly explains how you can help people. Now, if you already have realtor and your area in your bio, that's great. What's even better is if you can make it a little bit more personal and specific. And this is again where I always say you have to niche down to level up. You have to become clear, like what can you actually help people with. For example, you can put, I help people find their first homes. Or you can put, I get top dollar for sellers. Or you can say something like, I'm a matchmaker between homes and buyers. Anything that makes it a little bit more personal, a little bit more unique, and a little bit more targeted is your friend here. Then a second tip that I want to give you for your Instagram bio is get your lead info. So again, Instagram doesn't really offer you a way to capture your followers' info except for you can follow them back, right? So what you can do is set up a simple opt-in page. Let's say that you create an ebook that gives 10 things that you need to know before buying a home in Denver, and then you add the link to that page, and on that page you can then capture their name, email address, phone number, when they're planning on buying a home, etc. And you can actually reach out to them or have your team reach out to them that way. If you do not find a way to capture your leads info off of Instagram, you really have nothing. You have a follower and you can contact them in the DMs, but that's it. If for some reason your Instagram account gets shut down, you have no info whatsoever. So take a look at integrating that as well. So now that we've covered literally every inch of what you can post on Instagram, when you can post it, how you can optimize your profile, how you can capture lead information, etc., it is time for you to actually start creating content, and that can feel a little bit overwhelming. So I want to give you some quick tips of how you can integrate systems into your business to make this more streamlined and easy for you. Now, there are a couple of different routes that you can go. You can either go and do it all yourself. And for that, I would advise you that you come up with some sort of a content strategy, a plan where you work with certain key formats, and then you just do that over and over again to the best of your ability. What you can also do is use places such as Fiverr or Upwork to find video editors, graphic designers, social media managers, etc. Or, and this is somewhat of the step that of course I would recommend because I am an agency owner, this is where you would hire an agency so that they can take a look at the strategy and the execution with you, and you can actually just go back to what you do best, which is sell real estate or run your business, run your team, instead of actively creating content every day and that being your main job, right? So the way that an agency works, the way that our agency works is that we start on YouTube. So we start with long form content on YouTube, and then we sort of created this content machine where once your editor is done with your YouTube video, your entire creative team goes to work to cut carousels and IGTV and reels, tons and tons of reels, and actually post that for you so that all you have to do is create one piece of content, which is the YouTube video, and then to the maximum of our ability, we go in and create other types of content around that as well. Now, of course, our YouTube channel is packed with free, valuable information teaching you how to do all of that yourself. If you are at the point in your business where you're like, this should not be my main priority, but I do need to do it and I need some support in that, I want someone else to take it off my hands, there is a link in the description below where you can book a free discovery call with me or someone on my team, and we will gladly take a look at how we can integrate all of this into your business and actually get you more leads by the end of the month or the year, depending on when you're watching this and booking your call. So if this video was helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us to determine whether or not we should be creating more content like this, and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. In the meantime, check out some of the other videos that we have on here, and then I will see you next time.